Modern outdoor gear is very expensive. You can pay hundreds and hundreds of pounds for the simplest of items. But what if you didn't have to do that? What if you could just wear the same stuff that the Victorians wore back in the era of world domination? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. Yes, so we've bought our outfits for less than £20 from a charity shop, and we're going to test it in the great British soggy countryside. Looking forward to it?
I am.
Let's go. But first we had to go and source our Victorian clothing, which was easier said than done. I headed to Shrewsbury and Toby to Liverpool, and it turns out we both had exactly the same thoughts. I began rummaging around Shropshire's finest purveyors of used tat, but could only find the usual puzzles and deceased spec ladies' dresses.
We couldn't find much in those two, mind as well, but they were all rammed, really small shops.
I scoured through every single clothing rack in every single charity shop in the city until, in the last shop of the day, I found exactly what I was after. Toby spent the best part of 2 days sporadically visiting various charitable organisations until he found an immaculate Captain Birdseye jumper, which was close enough, and honestly, we were bored of looking by this point. Anyway, back to the countryside.
It's going to be a great year for our harvest this year. Look at all this lovely water we have that we can use to fuel our farm.
So it's worth mentioning that today we're not dressed as sort of wealthy aristocratic Victorians, we're dressed as the type of Victorians that would be working outdoors. I don't think doing outdoorsy things was particularly leisurely, it was more to serve a purpose, and today our purpose could be sheep farming. Or foraging, I suppose.
Ah, I didn't see you there. I was busy foraging these unseasonably and unripe blackberries. I will talk you through my attire today. What we have is a nice pair of woolen trousers. This is very typical of what the shepherdy type of people in Victorian land would wear. We have a woolen jumper and a nice woolen cap, along with our very historically accurate woolen socks and walking shoes.
Ah, sorry, I didn't see you there. I was too busy thinking about which country to... What I'm wearing is woolen socks. I have woolen trousers. I have a woolen top, and then I have a woolen jumper over the top, which is very itchy. And then above, I have a woolen hat, which is also very itchy. The idea is, all of this is in abundance. If I'm a sheep farmer, a shepherd, I have loads of this stuff. It's basically free. And when it gets wet, which it is today, it still stays warm. Brilliant. To be fair to the wool, it's not actually, the rain's not sort of sinking in, it's just sort of sitting on the outer surface. I'm quite warm.
The trousers are my favourite piece of the clothing at the moment. As you can see, they tuck nicely into my short socks. Thanks. Oh, hello there, and welcome to my hovel. If you're a soggy traveller, as us Victorians do not have raincoats, you're more than welcome to come and take a seat in the dry of my hovel. Sadly, I don't have a fire going yet, but it is shelter from the wind and it is dry. Come on in. Hovels like these were used back in the day by Victorians, sometimes Victorian shepherds. However, mostly the landed gentry would use these to think about what expeditions and colonisation plans they may do in the following months or years.
In the Victorian era, they couldn't be picky about what they were eating. So here we have some candle snuff, and I don't know whether this is edible or not, but we're going to eat it anyway, because we need to.
Disclaimer, it is not edible, and it is also not of much sustenance.
It's too small, it doesn't fit. Well, I can't have a proper belt. I didn't know whether they had proper belts, so we've got some string. But the trousers are too short, so they either tuck nicely into my socks or they fall down. I can't have both. And then my upper layer is too small as well. This jumper's a medium. I'm not a medium. We can't be picky, can we? Because we're Victorians and we take what we can get and we take everything. It's very wet, isn't it?
Yes.
Is your head wet though?
Not yet.
The wool is working well.
Indeed, the wool.
My trousers are a 38-inch waist and a 30 leg. I'm about a 34-inch waist and a 34 leg. I don't think any Victorian would have been a 38 waist, would they?
I don't know.
It would have been a very wealthy
The
Victorian.
plantation owners.
Suitable stick?
No.
No?
Too large.
Find a stick.
we are not in the woodland yet.
It's getting a little bit chilly and I'm getting a little bit damp. So what I'm told is that Victorians used to wear, or shepherds, used to wear a bit of a woolen blanket tabard type thing. I couldn't find any woolen tabard blanket type things, so I found this. It's like a sack material, and I'm going to cut a hole in it and we'll wear that just like this. And then all we do is pop that over the top like this. Voila. The good thing about this as well is that I can still access my pockets. See, I've only got 2 of them, but I have, look at that, easy access, both sides.
Yes.
They were on for something, these Victorians. They were clever. It turns out if you wear 2 layers of wool and a sack, you get very warm. I am toasty.
That's more like a tree than a stick, I think.
Yeah, but it's all about optimism. You want a crook, but you take the whole forest. That's how the Victorians work.
Okay.
You take a little bit and then you take a lot.
Back in the Victorian time, they didn't have prosthetic ears, so they used what they could find, such as these wood ears. Oh, that's good, I can hear you now.
Now, one of the most important things for a Victorian was for their clothing to be strong and reliable. And wool isn't very strong, but luckily my sack is. So when you need to forge a path, you just tuck everything into the sack and just walk forwards. And then when you've retrieved your sheep, you just continue on your walk.
One of the many benefits of modern gear is when you get too warm, you may want to put it into your bag. And modern gear is designed to be lightweight and packable. We're going to attempt that with our woolen jumper, as I am far too warm. I simply place my large jumper into my bag. As you can see, it's rather large. Luckily, wool is quite squishy. Off to more Victorian adventures.
Don't you feel warm?
I feel like I'm a sack of oats.
It's all stuck on the back of your backpack. And the trousers make it look like you've got a nappy. It's all stuck under the strap of your backpack. Toby's all miserable now because he has to wear the tabard, even though it's brilliant in every way.
So brilliant, you don't want to wear it.
I'm sharing its use. You looked cold.
We have some yellow brain fungus on the tree here. It's actually frozen in the cold weather. It's really cold, but it's also made it quite mushy. And a lovely advantage of wearing this knapsack is I don't need for a tea towel. It is one.
Isn't it a lovely day to be out Victorianing? We're currently in a hill fort. But we're not bothered about hill forts because we're Victorians and we've got bigger things to conquer. Like There's a quarry over there, behind the mist. When I have kids and they turn 3, they'll be going straight there.
This could be a golden oyster mushroom, an American mushroom, which is good if you're a Victorian, as they brought in lots of invasive and non-native species of trees, animals and more to the UK to show off their extensive travels and wealth, whilst not knowing the damage that it might do.
As a very hard-working Victorian shepherd, it's very important that I'm not spending all of my time washing my clothing over and over again. And the good thing about wool, of which all of this is made from, is that it's naturally antimicrobial, meaning all the horrible bacteria that sticks to your clothing and makes it smell, it can't really stick to this. So I can wear this for weeks and even months at a time. And I can get on with doing shepherding.
We've hit a snag in our pathway. Luckily, I'm wearing wool and my Hessian sack, so nothing shall stop me nor snag on my clothes to a concern where it might rip. I simply power on through. Wow, so powerful you may say. Another great service of the sack is when you want to kneel down to inspect things with a very Victorian phone. You simply place the sack on the floor and you have a nice dry spot to kneel on. Although I am slightly constrained by my neck area and it's pulling me into the ground.
Now, as a Victorian shepherd, you are nothing without your crook. So you have to be on the lookout constantly for good sticks. This one is obviously far too long. We just split him down, turn him around, this way, and there we go, stick. Now, as a Victorian shepherd, sometimes you might have to go down a steep hill such as this one, in case your sheep fell down it or you just needed to get to your next field. And having a reliable stick or crook allows you to scale even the steepest and most horrible of hills. See, look how easy. As a busy shepherd, sometimes I might not make it back before it gets dark. So the good thing about wearing one of these sacks is that you can sleep wherever you want. You just rest your hat down, take it off nice and easily, you lie down, and this is my bed now. Good night. Isn't it a spiffing day?
Spiffing!
Spiffing, spiffing. So whilst Toby goes and looks for mushrooms, I thought I'd talk you through the kit so far. So I've got 2 layers of wool on the top, one on the bottom, and then some socks, and then some wool on the top. And it's been raining all day. It's been about 5 degrees, pretty wet, a little bit windy, and I've been absolutely fine. I haven't taken any layers off, apart from the tabard thing. I haven't put any on. The wool has just sort of self-regulated my temperature. The water just sits on the outside. When it does come through, I can't really feel it because it's still warm. Everything is just sort of working as it should, to be honest. It's surprisingly good, but I guess it's not surprising because that's why sheep use it. Come on, viewers, I've got to tell you a fact. These trees down here, see these ones? The ones in the middle, which are all a bit raggedy, they are said to have been brought over by the Spanish Armada about 200 or 300 years ago, if we're a Victorian. Come on, let's see up close, come on. This could have been a Spanish tree. The Spanish could have been bringing over trees that were non-indigenous before us. And over. Oh yeah, go on. Shoulder press. Good effort.
I've dirtied my sleeves. And in Victorian times, a shepherd was judged in his wealth on how white his wool jumper was. As you can see, mine is much whiter than Harry's dirty green jumper, meaning mine has come from pure sheep. However, I've now got dirt on them, so everyone will think I'm poor.
How would you summarise our day of testing Victorian outdoor gear?
It was great.
It was great, actually. We're both dry-ish, we're both warm, and we haven't spent a lot of money. So to answer the question, can you spend a lot less on Victorian clothing and still have a good day outdoors?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.